Bonjour à tous, bienvenue à cette édition spéciale concernant la ville de Buea, en proie de fortes pluies depuis quelques heures. La ville située sur le flanc du mont Cameroun enregistre des morts après des fortes pluies qui sont tombées sur la grande ville hier. Plusieurs sources officieuses annoncent au moins 4 morts, des chiffres qu'il faudra encore vérifier tant les autorités administratives compétentes n'ont pas encore communiqué sur les morts enregistrés, des chiffres qui doivent être rendu public d'ici quelques heures après la réunion de sécurité qui se tient en ce moment même à Buea. Les autorités camerounaises, je le disais, n'ont pas encore communiqué sur le bilan de cette catastrophe. Buea qui occupe une position géographique qui explique en partie la forte vitesse des torrents et observée lors de fortes pluies de samedi. Eh bien, nous recevons sur ce plateau Anne Abila. Vous êtes rédacteur en chef pour Équinoxe télévision et radio. Vous avez suivi minute by minute les événements de Buea après les fortes pluies diluviennes. Bonjour et bienvenue.
Good morning, Pierre Laventure Ombang. Good morning to all our faithful viewers out there. We are talking this morning about an unfortunate incident which happened in the Southwest Regional Headquarters, Buea. That was yesterday after heavy rains in Buea and in its environs caused severe floods in Buea. In fact, what actually happened, from what our reporters on the ground told us from Buea, is that the runoff came from the mountain. We know when it starts raining in Buea, it begins from the mountain because of its altitude. So the runoffs came from the mountain and swept away, like we put it, everything that the heavy water could find on its way. And Laventure, before we get into analyzing more or into narrating more what happened in Buea, just to let our viewers know that you mentioned a while ago that some deaths have been reported, though not official. As at now, a security meeting is taking place at the governor's office to ascertain what actually happened in Buea and how such catastrophes can be prevented in the days or in the years to come. Just to note that the rainy season, like the former mayor and Senator Melamuki, who was on the field, was saying, the rainy season has just begun. So we can imagine what will happen when the rainy season intensifies. That would be in the months of June, August, and even September. Laventure, maybe we take a report which was done yesterday on our airways on Equinoxe television to show our viewers detailed somehow what actually happened in Buea. And we told you that we saw images, very shocking images, which we cannot put them on our screens, of people who were being dug up from the mud. I don't want to say the debris, and we were questioning if those people were still alive, but some of them were in the hospital, and the doctors who received some of the victims say no death was recorded, but then they had to transfer or refer some of the cases to other hospitals like the Buea Regional Hospital, and also some were reportedly taken to Douala because they had fractures. Some could not breathe well, and all of those because, like I said, they were dug up from the mud which came from the mountain alongside heavy runoff. Laventure, maybe we take a report to show our viewers what actually happened, maybe with some little details.
Justement, nous allons prendre le reportage que vous avez réalisé en Abila pour le point sur la situation à Buea.
This is Buea town, a neighborhood in Buea closest to the mountain.
Hey, Jesus! Mama mia!
Heavy runoffs from the Mount Fako sweeps along whatever it finds on its way. Human beings were swept away, especially children, and some have reportedly died. The population is confused as they pull a seemingly lifeless body of a little boy from the mud.
Damages I received 4 cases here, and I've referred 1 to Regional Hospital Buea. The cases were we have 3 male and 1 female. We have 2 boys, then an adult for the male.
Even story buildings were not left out. The heavy runoffs from the mountain reportedly took people by surprise. The situation is being blamed on poor urbanization. A search continues for those who are still missing. Several others affected are being reanimated in hospitals.
Eh bien, le reportage réalisé par Anne Abila sur les événements de Boya. Je reprécise que nous sommes, vous êtes avec nous pour cette édition spéciale liée aux événements tragiques de Boya après les pluies, fortes pluies diluviennes qui se sont abattues hier sur la ville. Tout à l'heure, Anne Abila, vous reprécisez ici qu'on n'a pas encore tous les chiffres sur cette catastrophe, que je pourrais appeler ça déjà comme étant une catastrophe. Il faut dire quand même que le bilan est énorme. Il y a de nombreuses habitations qui ont été emportées par les eaux. Et disons aussi qu'il y a des personnes qu'on a retrouvées déjà la vie perdue dans les
yes, in the mud. They were, like I said in the reports, they were seemingly lifeless because when we look at the current of the water which was running through the streets of Boya, especially those who neighborhoods which are closest to the mountain. For those who know Boya somehow, quarters such as Boya Town, such as Bova, and they are closest to the mountain, and it is slopey somehow. I have a tendency of trying to describe how it is. It is slopey somehow, and when the water comes, even if it's a human being, even somebody who is as big as yourself can be swept away by the runoffs. And we were actually going to come to the other images. We cannot tell for now how many persons might have died. We say might because the figures are not yet official, but from the images Laveju, yesterday before I did the report, we just got the images. When you look at the report, it was done by we got some amateur images, because even our reporters were on the ground. They only had to go there. That was when the runoffs had already dried up somehow. When you look at what is happening in the video, viewers, you understand that it was almost impossible for somebody to leave, maybe from Moliko or from Great Support, and go towards that area to film. There was practically no way to pass, and even in the report you see that vehicles were stationed because even vehicles could not move. It was a terrible situation yesterday in Boya, and you had people shouting and screaming, everybody looking for, searching for their family members, because when the runoffs, and then the runoff coming from the Mount Fako, it mixes with mud and also lava that that happened during the eruption some years back. That makes it very, very violent, and people had to, even up to now, some people are still searching for those who are missing. That is why the security meeting is taking place as we speak at the governor's office in Boya. They'll have to know the governor is meeting with other local administrators and other traditional authorities, and also some quarter heads, so that they can explain what actually happened precisely in the various neighborhoods and the damages which were caused and what they think can be the cause of what happened in Boya yesterday. Grosso modo, that's what the report was talking about. And you notice, Laveju, that the report was somehow very short because we did it in a hurry. We got the information at about 6 or 6:30 p.m. I want to say 7 p.m. because it rained in Boya. That was yesterday. We know in Douala it threatens to rain in Douala, but we know Boya, because of the mountain and the altitude, like I mentioned earlier, it easily rains in Boya. I don't want to get a lot into meteorology. It easily rains in Boya, and when it rains in Boya, it is always heavier than what obtains in other cities like in Douala or like in Kumba. But yesterday we noticed that it threatens to rain in Douala. It didn't really rain, but it rained heavily in Boya, and it even rained heavily more that was closer to the mountain. And reason why, and when it rains in the mountain, how does it happen? The runoffs now is sloppy. It has to run through the city of Boya, and the neighborhoods which are most often affected are Boya Town, Bova, maybe Bonakanda the other way, and those other quarters which are very close to the mountain. You can see in the images, Laveju, that the people they came back later on to clean up what the mud or what the water brought to their quarters, let me say so, to their neighborhoods. And that is why we would have to listen to Senator Belamuki, who actually said somehow that maybe, you know, I was trying to read about eyewitness accounts yesterday, and so many people were for the fact that it is not for nothing that the forefathers of the Bakuri people used to construct only in they used to use only wood to do their structures, their buildings in Boya, because like they used to explain to us, when the mountain has any maybe an eruption, it's not going to shake planks, it's not going to shake buildings which are made in clapboard, but when it is made in concrete, it's difficult for it to tremble, and it's difficult for it to it's easier for it to tremble and easier for it to collapse. And I think that was what happened yesterday, because houses which were made in clapboard were not shaking, they weren't really carried away somehow. But those who were made in concrete, those were the houses which were really affected. Maybe we are going to listen to the former mayor for the Boya municipality, Belamuki, who is now a senator, so he understands a little. It's not the first time that such an incident is happening in Boya, but this time around it was more severe than what obtained in the other years, and there are fears that if nothing is done as the rainy season approaches or intensifies, the situation might even be worse.
Merci Annabila pour toute cette précision. Il faut repréciser que Boya occupe une position géographique qui explique en partie des fortes vitesses de torrents observées lors des fortes pluies de ce samedi. Les données topographiques de Boya mettent pourtant en évidence les risques d'inondation en cas de pluie diluvienne. Plusieurs spécialistes, il faut le préciser encore, mettent en cause l'inexistence, j'y arrive, des plans d'urbanisation adaptés dans cette partie du Cameroun. Je voudrais qu'on aille ensemble prendre Mbela Moki Serge. Il est l'ancien maire de la ville de Boya, aujourd'hui sénateur. On l'a pris juste après la survenue de ces événements.
Yeah.
C'est une situation grave à Boya. Les pluies sont tombées cet après-midi. Aucune personne n'était pas prêt d'avoir imaginé ce que se passe cet après-midi. C'est une situation grave. On a perdu un enfant, beaucoup sont blessés, les hommes sont à l'hôpital. Il y a les maisons étaient cassées et l'inondation était très grave. Et nous sommes dans une situation de crise à Boya depuis cet après-midi. Partout Boya Town et secteur de la ville de Boya sont dans la même situation. Et je crois que demain, la administration publique et l'opinion publique doit être ensemble pour essayer de chercher une solution. Parce que quand le pays n'est pas arrivé, mais on avait la situation comme ça. Imaginez qu'est-ce qui se passe demain. On est dans une période de saison de pluie.
Quel message pour la population?
C'est qu'on doit être vigilant, on doit être à côté de gens qui sont en difficulté.
Eh bien, nos équipes sur place ont aussi tendu le micro à un personnel de santé sur place. Avec lui, nous faisons le bilan après les fortes pluies diluviennes qui se sont abattues sur la ville de Boya. Je vous propose de le suivre.
Welcome to Boyatan Medical Affairs Center. I'm Dr. Shifra Ismail. So this incident this afternoon, the flood that came with human and material damages, I received 4 cases here, and I've referred one to Regional Hospital Boya. The cases were we have 3 male and 1 female. We have 2 boys, then an adult for the male, and then 1 adult woman. For the male, I had to refer because of a severe laceration on the thigh. On the calf muscles, which was more serious. Maybe the vascular injury started in that case. Then the other boys, they came with in a drafty state. And
Alors, Anabila, avant de partir, qu'est-ce qui est fait par les autorités en ce moment? Quelle est la façon avec laquelle ces autorités entendent prendre à bras le corps cette situation qui sévit à Boya?
Okay, Lavetu, before I answer that question, we saw in the images a while ago in there, except the former mayor for Boya, who was on the field, who is now Senator Bela Moki. We know that he had, should I say, governed that municipality for a very long time, and he understands what is happening. And he was saying there again that in Boya, people have constructed haphazardly, people have blocked waterways, and that would have to be redressed if we don't want such an incident to happen again. And the medical doctor who told us that so many persons came to his hospital, but then nobody died while with him, but he ordered for others who were severely injured to be evacuated. So we cannot tell for now if any death was recorded or not, because nothing has been made official yet. And now, as we're coming back to your question on what the authorities have done, we just mentioned a while ago that a security meeting is taking place now at the governor's office, and our reporters who are in Boya are there. They are attending that meeting, and sure, at the end of it, they are going to tell us what measures have been arrived at to ensure that such incident does not happen in Boya again. Like I mentioned, it is not the first, it is not the second, it should be the second in about 2 years. We don't want a third to happen, so the authorities, Labetu, would have to take all necessary measures to ensure that the second incident should be the last.
Merci Anne Abila, je reprécise que vous êtes rédacteur en chef adjoint pour Équinoxe Radio et Télévision, et qu'avec vous, nous allons minute by minute suivre cette actualité autour de Boya. Madame, Monsieur, merci d'avoir suivi cette édition spéciale. Nous reviendrons si besoin en est. À tout de suite.